Welcome back to Newslink. Well, the South African Federation of Trade Unions is demonstrating outside the Public Enterprises Department. It's unhappy that it's appealing a ruling exempting police stations, hospitals and schools from blackouts. Government says it's impractical and even dangerous to exempt these entities. eNCA's Moloko Moloto joins us with the very latest. And good morning to you, Malome. I mean, I'm sure it's not just SAFTU only lamenting these concerns. Various interest groups, I'm thinking now the likes of OUTA, even reiterated that government should not waste taxpayers' money fighting this exemption in the courts, but to rather understand that it's important for these entities to continue to have electricity.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this relates to a Pretoria High Court judgment. I think it was handed down on the 5th of May this month, essentially compelling government to ensure that certain institutions such as police stations, clinics, hospitals, as well as schools are exempted from the rolling electricity blackouts. And the instruction there was that government must implement this within a period of 60 days. Now, the government, we heard, at least through the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, who issued a media statement indicating that he is going to be filing for appeal because he believes that the court got it wrong. He essentially saying that there will be implications if he were to carry on and implement that particular court instruction, in that it may even jeopardize these efforts by government to ensure that they stabilize the national grid. But as you can see behind me, these are a handful members of the South African Federation of Unions, SAFTU, and they are picketing just outside the offices of the Public Enterprises Department. This is where the office of the minister is located. But let's speak to the president of SAFTU. She joins me now. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Maybe in a nutshell, what is the purpose of this picket?
We are gathered here today as SAFTU to defend the court ruling. We are saying that this is just a series of activities that we've agreed upon, that we will defend that court ruling. From our side as SAFTU, we believe that High Court ruling is applicable, considering the fact that it's something that the government would have done long time ago. I mean, from our members who happens to be engineers, they're telling us that this government is not concentrating on maintenance, which is something that could have make it a point that it brings the end to load shedding. So for them to be going to court and challenge this court ruling, we are saying that we are not going to fold our hands. We are going to challenge it. We are going to defend this court ruling up to until the Constitutional Court of the land.
Yeah, the main argument by government is that it is not practically feasible to implement that particular court judgment or instruction, based on the fact that it would require a whole lot of issues technically to exempt specific schools. And on that note, they are simply saying that it will end up being detrimental to the national grid.
Let me start with hospitals. We know that the hospitals, especially those that are at net care, are exempted. The hospitals that are not exempted, these are the working class hospitals, together with the schools. We know that in the high and middle class areas, they are exempted from electricity. The people that are suffering the most, these are the working class community and the workers at large. So it is possible, like you are saying, that our members at ESCOM, they are telling us that once the government can focus on the plant maintenance, this issue of load shedding, it can be ended. But what the government is doing, we actually don't agree with them, because we are where we are today because of their incompetency, corruption that is there, the corporatization of ESCOM. I mean, there are a series of mismanagement that are happening there in ESCOM.
If you say it is doable, I mean, why would government, through the Minister of Public Enterprise, be hell-bent on wanting to appeal this particular judgment? What do you think is motivating him?
I mean, look at what the government is currently doing. We now have the Minister of Electricity. We have the Minister of Minerals Resources. We have the Minister of Public Enterprise. They are all concentrating on eEscom. That on its own, it simply tells you that what this government of the ANC is doing in relation to electricity, they don't know what they're doing. And what the president of this country has actually indicated that they're taking certain functions from the Minister of the Minerals and Resources to the Minister of Electricity. I mean, from side to side, we've long pronounced that this portfolio of the Minister of Electricity is just the project management.
Yeah, while on that, I mean, today the presidency announced a short while ago, actually, that certain functions have been taken from the Minister of Mineral Resources. Essentially, the president has empowered the Electricity Minister, Hosien Soramokgopa, to ensure that he is empowered to, ensure that we have electricity stability there. Does that not give you confidence that perhaps we might move in the right direction?
This is an illustration and a confirmation that he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, for him to have that portfolio without necessarily putting the terms of reference of that portfolio, it tells you that they are in a pilot project. And the unfortunate part is that workers are suffering as a result of that. I mean, we are receiving multitude of Section 189 where companies are unable to pull through because of this load shedding. And people that are suffering the most, these are the workers and the working class community. And they know that the areas where they are sitting, the areas where they are residing, they are exempted from this load shedding. Hence, we are saying from the SAFTU side, we are going to defend this ruling. We are going to make it a point. We are going to rally behind. This is just a picket, and we've got series of activities where we will be joining hands with the working class formation and even other organizations that joined. I mean, we had about more than 10 organizations that were that lodged court application against a public enterprise. So we are saying that all of them, we are going to have a common action. This is just the beginning.
All right, this is just the beginning. Ruth Ntlokotse there saying, the president of SAFTU, and I tried to reach out. Of course, I managed actually to get hold of Alice Nyandu, who is the spokesperson for the Minister of Public Enterprises, who says that firstly, they are not aware of this picket by SAFTU. They have not been made aware of it. But secondly, I wanted to know as to specifically when or whether they have filed those court papers to appeal that court judgment of 2 weeks ago. He says their lawyers are still busy with the court papers. In other words, the court papers have not been filed. We wait to see how far this, of course, will go, Jimena.